What is going on, FitFam? So first off, you see these palm trees behind me? That's because your girl is back in Mexico, back in Puerto Escondido, Oaxaca, Mexico, where I lived the last 2 years, and I'm going to be here again for the winter. So I actually just got finished hosting my first ever in-person retreat here for my clients. It was so freaking amazing. Oh my God, we had the time of our lives. I'm doing another one March 3 to 7. So if you are interested, let me know. You can apply in the link below because I am also offering $200 off on the price for Black Friday only. So click on the link if you want to come hang out with me in person, train in person, and get to be in gorgeous Mexico on the Pacific Southwest coast. Okay, so today we are going to be hitting some legs and booty, my favorite day of the week. We're doing some of my favorite exercises, some new exercises that I actually haven't really done before. So I'm going to be walking you through all of it, explaining to you how you too can pump that booty and sculpt those legs. So let's get into it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the gym.
All right, fam, let's get into this lower body booty popping workout. So I'm just going to start off with a tiny bit of glute activation with my fabric resistance band, just doing some lateral steps side to side, some squats, kind of just pulsing it out just to get the muscle fibers engaged, get the blood flowing. And the gym was quite busy at the start, but there becomes less people as we go through this workout. So getting into the very first exercise, we are going to be doing some stiff legged deadlifts. This is a new exercise for me, and it is kind of the sister to the RDL, which is the Romanian deadlift, but there is a tiny bit of a difference in form. So with an RDL, you're going to have more of a bend in your knee, and because of that, you're going to be driving your hips a little bit further back towards the wall, which is going to activate your glutes more, and you're not going to be able to lower as far to the ground since you have more of a bend in your knee. Whereas with an SLDL, or stiff-legged deadlift, you're just going to have a tiny little bend in your knee, and you're going to be able to lower further down to the ground, and therefore you're going to be hitting the hamstrings more than you're going to be hitting the glutes. So this is really just a hamstring demolishing exercise. So I'm just slapping on my Versa grips here so I can lift a heavier barbell. Strongly recommend getting yourself a pair or at least some sort of straps so you can do heavier deadlifts more comfortably like this. And I personally like to do an overhand underhand grip with the bar. So I like to do underhand with my left hand and then overhand with my right hand. It's up to you. I just find it more comfortable to hold more weight that way. But if you can do double overhand, that's technically better since you'll have a better grip. But for me, it's just not as comfortable. So again, just a tiny bend in your knee, arms completely slack, holding the bar, and then you are pushing your hips back towards the wall. Imagine there's a rope around your hips. And then we are doing 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps plus 1 warm-up set before going into your working sets. So keeping that barbell close to your shins, driving up through your heels, tucking from your tailbone, really focusing on the hip hinge here. All right, moving into some barbell hip thrusts. Of course, what kind of a glute day would this be if we were not doing hip thrusts? So making sure that you are sitting down on the ground with the bench just kind of underneath your shoulder blades. That's the appropriate height it should be. So it shouldn't be just a regular bench in your gym. It should be one that's a little bit lower. And for me, I'm using the bench press because that is actually the right setup. And then you're going to have your legs at 90 degrees in front of you. And then once again, it's all hip hinge here. We are driving through the hips to lift that weight all the way up. So lifting your hips as high as you possibly can. I want to see a full hip extension. And sometimes you think maybe you're going up all the way, but if you really consciously think about, okay, I'm going to push my hips up as high as I can, you might be surprised that you actually feel more range of motion than you thought you were actually putting in, and you're going to feel it more in your glutes. So driving through your heels, thrusting from the hips, and we're going to be doing 8 to 12 reps for hip thrusts, and then we're not done. We're going to be going straight into doing some glute bridges, which is pretty much just like hip thrust pulses. So after you do your full set, 8 to 12 reps of regular hip thrusts, where you're going all the way down, all the way up, you're going to go straight into as many reps as possible of just kind of pulsing it out. So once again, trying to give as much of a full hip extension as you can, and literally just going until you possibly possibly can't do anymore, which for me, for all 3 sets, ended up being somewhere between 5 to 8 reps. So 3 sets, 8 to 12 hip thrusts, then go straight into as many reps as possible of glute bridges, and or you can call them hip thrust pulses. All right, moving on, we have some single leg press action going down. So this is a nice little variation to throw in every now and then because you get to isolate your legs one at a time, work on any muscle imbalances, and it's surprisingly so much harder to do these just single leg. You're obviously going to barely be able to use any weight, maybe even try no weight at all. Literally just the leg press itself is still pretty heavy. I ended up putting a 10 on each side in addition, but honestly that felt really quite heavy. And to be honest, I think next time I'm going to lower the weight because I was a little bit struggling with the range of motion here and kind of copping out to make up for the weight. So you're going to go one leg at a time, find the right position for you where you're going to really be able to extend all the way up and down, full range of motion, which for me was a little bit kind of midway on the actual foot paneling there. And then just lowering, extending all the way, bending that knee, bringing it as low as you can till your knee is pretty much up against your chest and pushing back through your heel, and you're going to be going for 12 reps on each leg for 3 sets. All right, moving on to the final exercise, we are doing 45-degree reverse hypers. So my gym does not have the 45-degree reverse hyper contraption, and some gyms don't, but the good news is there is a solution. I've been seeing this so much more on Instagram these days, and I was pleased how effective this was, where you can just go over to your squat rack, have the barbell set to a low height where it's going to be a little bit lower than your hips, so you're going to be able to extend all the way, put your barbell pad on so you have some cushion, of course, and then grab some kind of weight, or you can obviously try it just body weight to get started, and then it's the same range of motion. So you are tucking in your shoulders here and really think that you are lifting your weight up from your glutes. So once again, hip hinge, you're lifting all of your weight from the glutes, and that is how you are going to feel it there. And let me tell you, this is the kind of exercise where you feel it exactly where you want to feel it. Like it is right in that booty hamstring tie-in, and you just feel such a good burn and such a good contraction. I absolutely love it. This is an amazing exercise to finish off a glute and leg day. So you're going to go for 15 reps for 3 sets on this one. And by the end, I just had to document the nice booty pump I had going on. I know you are going to get one too. Enjoy it.
All right, fam. So that is the workout. It was a good one. My booty feels so nicely pumped, and I bet yours does too. So comment down below how you found the workout, if there's anything else you want to see from me. I feel like that was the perfect balance of, it was challenging, but it wasn't insanely difficult. So you're going to feel good now. You're going to have a nice little pump, but you're not going to feel like you want to die. Because I'm not going to lie, that's how I feel sometimes after leg day. My other leg day in the week, like I want to die when I'm done. I'm going to film that one for you next. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.